Great to be back at CPAC, and I'll make sure that we're here a lot. You are part of the story. You know what they're saying is true or not. This is so true. I love the First Amendment. Who uses it more than I do? The dishonest media. Let them say it to my face, because I know the people. And I love this place.
He really is the original gangster. So Friday, Donald Trump returned to CPAC like a conquering knight hungry for mead, mayhem, and mirth. They better have soup. I wonder, does he like Campbell's?
I like Campbell's soup.
Who doesn't? Except for cream of celery. I wouldn't feed that to a hobo. But he hit on his enemies, including CNN. I wonder if he has any nicknames for them.
Look, the Clinton News Network is one.
Now, I'm glad he said Clinton. Imagine the other options that begin with the letter C. So Trump manages to have his cake and eat it too. He can roast the media while still getting all the media. How did CNN handle it?
This speech I thought was overly long. It was boring in places and flat. He looked tired.
Ugh, I wonder if Trump has a message for them.
You know, they lost the election. It's like, how many elections do we have to have? They lost the election.
Now, Trump didn't limit his wrath to the media. He hit his predecessors, too. If only our leaders had gone to the beach.
If our presidents would have gone to the beach for 15 years, we would be in much better shape than we are right now. That I can tell you.
That I can tell you. He also reminded us that he will fulfill every promise and talked about what will happen next. Is the country going to get bigger?
It's going to be bigger.
Wait, slow down. I want to make sure I get all of this. Go ahead.
It's going to be bigger and better and stronger than ever before.
And he rained appreciation down upon his supporters. In case you forgot, what did Hillary call them?
Hillary called them deplorable. They're not deplorable.
It's true. It's amazing how much Hillary mattered in this election. One word, deplorables, framed the movement, galvanized the opposition. Deplorables was her Beetlejuice. She said it, then it appeared and destroyed her. Now, as this was going on, Hillary tweeted this message.
Let resistance plus persistence equal progress for our party and our country.
Seriously, Hillary, it's time to haul pantsuit. As they say at the bar after last call, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So, with CPAC, we're seeing a first, a conservative gathering that isn't a miserable replica of a Trekkie convention. To his credit, Trump brought fun to this world, boiling down substance into entertaining nuggets. Where Obama once gave soaring rhetoric, Trump gives us memorable burns.
The pundits didn't think we'd win. The consultants that suck up all that money, oh, they suck it up. They're so good.
Times indeed have changed. Last year, Trump didn't even go to CPAC. Now he owned it. Talk about unite and conquer. He may not have been the first choice, but he was the last man standing. Period. Let's welcome tonight's guest, shall we? She's sharp and bright like a knife made of fireflies. Former White House National Security Council staffer, Gillian Turner. He gargles with Clorox and flosses with barbed wire. He's a former Navy SEAL who happened to track down and kill somebody named Osama bin Laden. It's Rob O'Neill! Who knew that bin Laden was killed by a metrosexual? All right. If the world were her oyster, she'd develop a shellfish allergy. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. And finally, the moon is his beach ball. TNA wrestler Tyrus. All right, I'm going to go to you, Rob, so you don't kill me. What did you make of his speech overall? Any thoughts, perceptions, things?
No, I mean, it's an interesting speech. It's a lot of like the similar campaign type stuff he was saying. He dislikes the media. He's told the media he dislikes him. And now he's at the point where if he doesn't like him, he locks him out of the media. Doesn't even let him in. Which I'm not sure, but I mean, whatever. He's running the show right now, and he just came out there. Obviously, that's the CPAC. It's his base. He can say anything anti-media, they're going to love him. And I think he just had fun with it. It seemed like he was enjoying himself.
Yeah, you know, Gillian, he came back. He was like the guy that was, you know, he was like the guy voted least popular in high school who comes back and buys the high school. And then he tortures it with everyone in it.
I just wonder, so like, where was he all the other years?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned in the opener that he wasn't there last year.
Well, because he knew that, like, you know, it was problematic, to use a word I hate.
Well, it's just so interesting to see that he's now, as the president, really welcomed and embraced by the Conservative Party.
Yes.
You know,
Everybody
the
seems
GOP.
to love a winner, though, because last year was Ted Cruz.
Well,
he was vote number
exactly.
3 there.
Winning heals all wounds. That's the point. It's like there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of stuff that he says that isn't conservative, like the trade stuff I don't buy. But I buy that because I like his stance on national security. So he's like a kind of a grab bag. There's no libertarianism in there anymore, as if you've noticed. It's definitely shifted CPAC towards more of a populist nationalist group.
I could have done without less references to Bernie and Hillary all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit of being a sore loser.
Oh, I don't know. He's a sore winner.
It's a sore winner. Sore winner. Yeah, you're right.
I have to say, I am a sore winner. If I win, I like to rub people's faces in it, Tyrus. You know what? I have a theory that he is for the right what Obama was for the left. That he provides kind of an energy to the group that it didn't exist before, maybe?
I would accept that theory. I also think that some people is party before belief system.
Yes.
Because they were pretty anti-Trump, like never Trump, and he's not this and he's not. Oh, he won? I love that guy. Oh my! Come date my daughter. Well, maybe not.
But how? I mean, okay, I'm one of the. By the way, I'm one of those people. If everybody, you know, they watch. There's a little show I do called The Five. I pretty much hold it together.
Sorry, what's it called?
But every day, I was hypercritical of Trump because I wanted him to be a better candidate. And then when he won, I'm going, okay, now I want it to be a better party. So I've like suspended my, well, I haven't suspended my criticism. I've given him a honeymoon. Right. And so far, most of it we're going to talk about in the B block, but most of his policies, they're not outlandish. It's just the way he delivers them. Right?
Well, yeah, he's more in your face.
Yes.
You know, and I just like that he literally, they were telling him last year, basically, I mean, you can come, but like, we're going to walk out if he's there and we're dead against him. And now they're opening up their house to him and they're letting him raise their children on his moral systems. You know, like, they're really into Trump. And you know what? We have a libertarian right here.
Right.
And she's got to be kind of squirmy a little bit because they pretty much forgot.
You know what?
Guys, right?
Okay, but think about this.
It's just irritating that the country is going to waste more money in the Middle East, even when Trump himself during his speech complained about all the money we've wasted in the Middle East, which just makes so much sense, and nobody seems to notice that it doesn't make any at all.
All right, so what you're bemoaning is the lack of consistency, but that's dead. No one's consistent anymore.
I am. I'm holding it together.
No, you're not. By the way, could you imagine?
I'm holding it. You're not.
No, you're not holding it together. I've worked.
You're not. That's it.
Kat, I've worked with you for a year and a half. You're not holding anything together.
Not emotionally, but my political views I do.
Well, that's just you're hanging by a thread.
That's a bunch of fake.
No, here. Imagine this, okay? Imagine CPAC if Trump had lost. It would have been a mass killing in khakis. People would have showed up. There would have been cannibalism.
Burning the effigy.
It would be like the end of Game of Thrones with remember the Red Wedding?
Yes.
Nobody watches that show.
Yeah,
I watch it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. So it's good.
But to me, the president's greatest attribute is his ideological inconsistency.
Right, I agree.
love that.
I
agree. Think we need more of that in the political system.
I'm not an
with
ideologue.
these rigid. Me neither.
I'm not an ideologue. I like the fact that I don't like litmus tests. And also, I have to say, at least they're having fun.
They're having fun, don't they?
Oh, that's all that matters, that the president's having a good time.
I'm talking about, I've been to CPAC, I've done speeches. I've had speeches where everybody is stone-faced, and the material I'm giving is great, by the way, but they're just looking at, but it's nice to see people having some fun.
Well, I think you got to throw a few down when you go here to speak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at the other side of it. Let's say Trump didn't win. you would have had 3 hours of crews going, I told you.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Could you imagine? It would have been mass suicides everywhere.
It would have been. That's what I'm saying. It would be the Red Wedding with Ted. It would be khakis and
Yes.
Ralph Lauren and blood.
If you could imagine, it would almost be like Ted Cruz would be condescending for a change.
Yeah.
So there, I
could watch that.
was at CPAC. There were a lot of khakis.
You know, there were cat khakis. You went there and we actually have a package.
Yeah, we sure do.
You want to throw to it?
Yeah, everybody, take a look at my package.
They say that CPAC is a conservative political action conference, but we all know what it really is. It's the prom and the prom party all rolled into one. Are you peacocking right now? Like, you didn't need a date. You're going to come like this and steal everybody's lady. Is that the plan?
My looks and my talent,
You seem very, very excited about CPAC.
It's like heaven. When I die, this is where I want to go. Like, I love CPAC so much.
I'm sure heaven's just like CPAC. What are your goals for the night, party-wise?
nice, quiet dinner.
That's what I would tell my parents. So what's your strategy for picking up women at CPAC?
Well, I already wore my best suit today, so we'll see if I get any luck with that.
Yeah, you guys have some great suits. When do you have to return that suit to Men's Warehouse?
Oh, no, I actually bought this.
And so I hear that like Dr. Ben Carson's throwing the after party. So you're gonna go? Like, it's gonna be a hell of a party.
Hopefully it's not too late, because I think he probably goes to sleep pretty early.
Yeah, he's sleeping kind of all the time a little.
Yeah.
Which is what makes him the best to throw the after party. He'll have no idea what's going on. Do you feel like you're at the prom all over again?
Actually not. My prom was much better. I came in a limousine.
I remember mine, but only because I cried.
Was it like all through the prom, or was it just for a moment in the prom?
Just for a moment. I was wearing light-up flip-flops, and someone told me they didn't like me, and, you know, they liked me, but they didn't like me, Mark. So are you guys like a couple, or are you just going as friends?
This is my father.
Okay, all right. So you're taking your dad, you took your dad to
Good
CPAC.
judgment on you.
So what's more fun, you know, spring break or CPAC?
CPAC, of course.
CPAC, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get Ted Cruz and you get the parties.
Ted Cruz. When I think fun, I think immediately Ted Cruz.
I do, at least.
I gotta say though, there was no cops say legalize drugs at my prom.
No, I mean, my profession is, I'm a lobbyist in Congress, and my profession fights me every day. They fight me because of the money. They don't fight me because they think prohibition's a good idea.
So I heard, you're throwing the after party, right?
Yeah, I've got.
If I had to pick a guy to do it, it would be this guy, just gotta say. What is your goals for the night, party-wise?
Ooh, well, let's just say I don't plan on sleeping much.
Who would you have be prom king and prom queen of CPAC?
Kelly Conway?
Kellyanne Conway?
Yeah.
Prom king and queen?
Yes.
She can do it all, I guess.
I think she should run for office.
Okay.
I'll endorse her.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Breaking news. I did some great work, very important work.
That must feel good, huh?
Feels very good.
You know what the thing is? I was wondering when Ben Carson throws a party on the invite, does it write "Come join us"?
Oh, get it? Because the twins. Get it? Because the twins.
Thank you for that. At least a smattering of applause for a terrible show. Come join us.
Let's go to commercial.
All right. Up next, a monologue so powerful it might bench press your face. But first, President Trump serves up a virtual smorgasbord of national security initiatives. I feel safer already. President Trump's trying to keep the nation safe, and it's scaring the hell out of the left. This week, Rex Tillerson and John Kelly went to Mexico, an actual country, to address border security. And after 8 years of hearing President Obama explain why Gitmo must close, the Trump White House says it needs to stay open because we get intel from there. That makes sense. And that's the point on its merits. His national security policies are pretty normal, but they're explained in a way that we're just not used to.
All of a sudden, for the first time, we're getting gang members out, we're getting drug lords out, we're getting really bad dudes out of this country. We are getting the bad ones out. These are bad dudes. The people that we're going against, they don't wear uniforms. They're sneaky, dirty rats.
right. We've been so coddled by safe language that we think Trump's words somehow make his policies worse. The last guy before him would bend himself into a pretzel before he'd call an act of terror an act of terror. Radical Islam wasn't even in his dictionary, which leads me to Sweden.
You look at what's happening in Germany. You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. Sweden. Who would believe this? Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible.
Yep. Last week, that set the world's hair on fire when Trump suggested Sweden endured an immigrant-fueled spike in crime. He heard it on Tucker Carlson. Tonight, I hear it's a show. Of course, everyone said Trump was full of it. Well, except for the Swedes. Two leading Swedish Democrats, Jimmy Akesson and Mattias Karlsson, you know them. They echoed Trump's claims in the Wall Street Journal, writing, quote, Mr. Trump did not exaggerate Sweden's current problems. If anything, he understated them. And the media had mocked Trump until riots erupted in a heavily immigrant Stockholm suburb. Then the mockery disappeared faster than a turkey leg on Michael Moore's lap. So, even Trump's clapping. So when Trump says something, he's wrong because he says it bluntly until you realize later that he might be right, and then you move on quietly. But it doesn't matter how he says it. Liberals are going to hate Gitmo, borders, and extreme vetting anyway because national security is so mean. Gitmo, it's a jail. Yuck. Extreme vetting, it sounds like something horrible you do at the pound. And borders, that's discrimination. How dare you keep everyone out? So yeah, Gitmo, vetting, borders, they're all so mean. But why shouldn't they be? Trump's words are rough, but times are tough. You don't hire a bunny to be a guard dog. Gillian, you're a national security expert. Are his initiatives that out of bounds? I find them reasonable. It's just the way he delivers them that is a little bit different. You know what he is? He's straight out of Brooklyn. He's the Beastie Boys president.
Well, so what I was going to say is it's not that he's talking too tough and too bad ASS. It's that he sounds like...
You spelled out ass.
I'm terrified. I don't know. Look. Oh, yeah. It's still unclear to me what I'm allowed and not allowed to say on television, so I play it safe.
I love that. All right.
You spell it, you can say anything. That's
right.
Yes.
But he doesn't sound like he's so tough to me. He sounds like my uncle at Thanksgiving when he talks about national. He's like, these guys, like, they're terrible. We got to get rid of them. They're bad dudes. By the way, do you remember when Tommy Vitter, the Obama-era NSC spokesperson, I think he was on Special Report?
Yes.
It was one of our, this network's programs.
Right.
And he was like, he said the word dude, and everybody freaked out.
Yes.
And now the president is saying dude in a national address.
But he's saying bad dudes.
Bad dudes. It's
like when Tommy Vitter
dude.
said it, he was saying like, Shep, what's up, dude?
He was like, dude.
Yeah, it was insulting. Rob, do you buy my theory that he's fairly traditional, but it's that he's speaking our language?
Well, he's not a polished politician, so he's going to do something really weird in Washington and say what he thinks.
Right.
And he's trying to he tries to speak the truth as best he can, but the problem is if you speak the truth, you're going to get labeled.
Right.
They're going to call you an Islamophobe. They're going to call you a racist. My favorite one lately is a misogynist. I don't know what that means, though, but when I hear people screaming that at a paid protest.
That means you are one.
No, it means I'm Is that what it is? Because the word that came to my mind was that's just a snowflake yelling at him. So that's like the way they say. But that seems what they do, and it's so weird that a lot of these people, as far as the vetting goes, a lot of the left, boy, they will vet the hell out of you when you're trying to get a gun as a citizen. But if you want to come in for free, come on in.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I have to say, I think you killing Bin Laden makes you an Islamophobe. I'm just putting it out there.
I think it just means I was pro-gun using just a weapon the right way.
Yes, exactly.
You know, guns didn't kill people, the bullets in the fall did.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Tyrus. My theory is that, the infiltration through migration, technology, and terror has changed the world. We have to look at things differently, and sometimes we have to use blunt language. No?
I mean, sometimes you got to tell these M-O-T-H-E-R what time it is. You know, I don't care how you say it. Just mean what you say.
Yeah. We only have to bleep one letter out of that, by the way.
Can we spell check him?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that was not right.
Yes.
With her fake news. Anybody trying to...
Fake news.
Oh, the Sweden thing, Greg.
Yes.
The blunt language is one thing. Saying that something happened last night when nothing happened.
Whoa. First of all, they stole that word because when I was in college, snowflake was the white girls that would date us. We called them snowflakes. So you ain't calling me no snowflake. Sorry, Kat, go ahead. Go ahead. Because when you raise your voice, it's so much better.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, now you know.
All right, okay, you two, I'm going to have to separate you two with more than 2 people. I have to get the audience to sit here. All right, Kat, you're trying to say something.
I was trying to, yes.
And now we're going to give you a chance to speak.
Well,
all right, that's it for tonight. I'm joking.
That's what misogyny is, by the way.
All right, Kat, go for it.
That's a fake unicorn.
So, as I was trying to say...
Yes, dear.
I agree with you. It's misogyny again. I agree with you a little bit. For example, on immigration particularly, Obama deported 2.5 million people, and everyone said he was such a nice guy just because he talked like he was a nice guy.
Right.
But if we're talking about Sweden, it wasn't just that he said it bluntly. He said something happened last night that didn't happen. That wasn't a thing.
He was referring to Tucker Carlson's show.
Okay, but exactly. But that's not in Sweden. I don't think so.
It airs in Sweden. It's in Swedish.
And also, the way that you can lie with statistics. For example, people are running around saying Sweden is the rape capital of the world because there's they have a high number of offenses.
Right.
But they're more encouraged to report the offenses. There's more things that count as rape than in other countries. Saudi Arabia, not so encouraged to report the offenses. So they have almost none.
Fair point.
By that metric, Saudi Arabia is a feminist paradise, which I really don't think.
No, you make an excellent point. By the way, I want to bring up this. This is such great news before we go to break. The Pentagon announced officially that they're calling the Islamic State ISIS, not ISIL anymore. So now we find out. This is a big deal to me because for the longest, it's like clarity matters. For so long, like with Sean Combs, was he Puff Daddy or was he P. Diddy?
Oh, yeah.
And the thing, and it's like, it drives you nuts. It just drives you nuts. And so finally, I'm going like, is ISIS or ISIL, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Yes, Dash. Now I know. All right? I thought that was interesting. Maybe not. Come here! The story's so hot, it burned the roof of my mouth. But first, why one town said no way to cops giving kids high fives. A lesson in being a total jerk next. We are. Well, yeah. They banned the hand. In Massachusetts, the Northampton Police Department started a program where officers go to elementary schools to high-five students. So what's wrong with that, you ask? I have no idea. I answer. But about a dozen parents expressed concerns about the program. The Northampton police described those complaints on a Facebook post, writing, people were specifically concerned about kids of color, undocumented children, or any children who may have had negative experiences with the police. All right. Apparently, a lot of 5-year-olds have had run-ins with the law. Now, the police chief says High Five Friday started as a way to foster better relationships between police and children. What a bunch of monsters. They have since canceled the program and are hoping to find a new way to reach out to the schools. I believe we have tape of a new initiative. High-fiving cat. Can't beat a high-fiving cat. All right. Shouldn't liberals, Rob, be celebrating this kind of thing? You're getting the police and the...
I think so. They're trying to...
It's community
better relations. It's funny, though. I thought of that the first time with the undocumented parents. If they hate High Five Friday, they're going to despise Green Card Tuesday. No, but so, I mean, if a 5-year-old has an issue with the parents, maybe it's bad parents.
Yeah.
So the 5-year, I mean...
You got to know, Tyrus, you got to get to know the cops.
First of all, Officer Byrd is rolling over in his grave right now. I mean, you guys know what? When I was growing up in California, we had Officer Byrd, where a police officer would come in with a talking parrot to meet the kids. And it was commercials and stuff.
Only your school.
No, it was a big initiative, Kat. It was everywhere. Anyways, You talk louder, it means something, right? But this cop, the police would come in like once a month, and they would do a thing, and you know, because the kids see the parrot and stuff, and they looked at police, and that's not necessarily as always being the ones that arrested you, that they're people too, and it builds relationships.
And
so,
also, you know what it does? It teaches the kids to talk like a parrot.
Yeah.
You know, like
no.
a full skill. Did you squawk? Was that how you say? You know, did you?
No, the bird did cool tricks, and he rode a bike and stuff, and he.
Birds can't ride.
But
bikes.
it was. Yeah, that one could.
Well, I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I've never seen a bird ride a bike.
Well, the point is, it built a bridge.
Yes.
Now, if kids are afraid of cops, then what better way for them to meet cops that they don't need to be afraid of?
Exactly. You know,
so this is bad for everybody. It did me great because I learned how to talk to police, and my ass didn't go to jail or get worse because I was able to talk to police because Officer Bird helped me.
Yes.
Yeah, they should have officers.
That's good. And then I was just saying that allowed you to stay in school and get more snowflakes.
I remember this.
Yes.
They should have cops on the one side and then just the ACLU on the other side and just high-five them all. That way no one...
I'm pretty sure Tyrus has been in jail at least once.
Why?
Actually, no, I haven't. I
think we need to
I
fact
talk my
check
ass
you.
out of it every time.
I think we need to fact check you.
But this is how you got Donald Trump. You created an atmosphere of anti-law enforcement. You have people painting law enforcement as bad. You get a candidate that says, "I like cops."
You know what I like about cops is that if someone tries to murder me or does murder me, they know they'll get in trouble for doing that. Like that's pretty nice.
You're less likely to be murdered by a cop.
If they catch the person.
Right.
By the way, I'm not sure, Rob, I'm for the high five as a subliminal endorsement of narcotics. You know, high is
yeah, it's kind of offended. It makes me feel like a misogynist when I hear high five.
Yeah, that is true. And it replaced, you know what it replaced? When I'm old enough to remember, give me five, which was when you went like this, and you went like that.
Wasn't that 10?
Isn't that,
it says, give me 10. Yeah, give me 10.
Well,
but it was inflation.
No one says give me 10.
Two fives. But it was the Carter era.
Let me carry the one. Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah. But that got replaced with a high five in, what was it? I have the notes. 1977. Dusty Baker, Glenn Burke, they introduced it in the Dodgers. Wiley Brown and Derek Smith also did it in St. Louis Cardinals, both in the late 70s, 77, 78.
You're the only one on the show who was born before 1977. None of us understand about that.
Well, Julie,
no excuse not to know your history.
Yeah, exactly. This is history. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Up next, a story so important, it has its own dressing room. Well, we've discovered a whole bunch of new planets. What a relief. I was just getting bored with Earth.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
NASA announced this week that they discovered 7 new Earth-sized planets orbiting a dwarf star. Dwarf star, that was my nickname when I made adult films in the early 90s. But honestly, it feels like this is the right time for an alternative universe to be discovered. So what do we know about these planets? 3 of these planets are located in the habitable zone, meaning the most likely to have liquid water and therefore potentially have life and possibly even frozen yogurt. Now, luckily, we here at the Greg Gutfeld Show have a far more expansive research team than at NASA, and we found a few more details. For example, one of the planets is called Abtopia, and its life form is nothing but rock hard. I booked a seat. Also, we have Devane. It's an entire planet made of gold and silver. The good news is it's also reverse mortgaged and catheters grow on trees. It's orbited by 6 outer rings consisting of MyPillows. And the last livable planet is Lupiter. It's filled with nothing but billions and billions of loo dogs. He can't hear you. I'm moving there next week, by the way, but after a quick getaway to Abtopia, am I right? All right. Gillian, is this discovery good or bad?
I feel like it's kind of a misogynistic question to ask. You just come to me right out of it, out of your monologue.
H-E-L-L are you talking about?
Snowflake.
You have no theory?
Can we nominate people to send there?
Yes, we can. We can. Tyrus?
I'll be on the first
You
one.
can't send a planet to a planet. I made an asteroid of myself.
I think you should take this outside.
Looking for something to
Rob, are you excited over this? I'm kind of
I'm
excited.
concerned because I'm wondering what they do with the Guinness Book of World Records.
Mm.
I mean, we got to change that all up. You get a new, like someone eats so many cheeseburgers on Planet Ab, then what next? You have to rewrite the whole book. No, but it's interesting
No one
to think
eats
because
cheeseburgers on Planet Ab. Hello.
well, they eat them in the green room.
No, they do, but then they throw up. Yeah.
Very good. Well played.
That's
no, but it's just interesting to think like they're seeing these planets so far away, you know, and it brings you back to everyone killing each other over their man-made beliefs here. Maybe we could get with the times a little bit and not murder each other, try to understand each other. Potentially there's something out there we don't understand.
Ooh, that's good. Unite us in a way against another enemy that we kill.
Well, yeah, we can
eat. I have the, my theory, of course, is that we're
breed with.
Well, no. Oh, breed. A sex planet. You're talking about a sex. You know, I do think.
Only you would think of that.
Tyrus, I think that we need a vacation planet, like the equivalent of a cabin upstate. You know, when gets really bad, we all head to cabin planet.
I've been trying to find a mountaintop to go train on for a month and just be away from everybody and cell phones. Maybe it's a planet.
It could be a planet. It could be a planet.
I don't believe any planet news.
Well, explain, because I might have a theory. I might agree with you.
Well, first, remember Jupiter, it was a planet, and it's not a planet. Now we got all these new planets. Guess what? I've seen none of these planets. I've been to none of these planets, let alone know if there's water on these planets. Also, there's water in my apartment. Not too impressed with my apartment. I don't listen to Planet News whatsoever.
Wow, yes. And there is no signs of life in your apartment.
Nope. Hopefully. I want to say that I have a cat, but I feel like that's not bragging.
You are correct.
You are on cat planet. Population, you and a cat.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, here's this is an interesting theory. It's not my own, but there's, even if there are signs of life, why is there a lack of contact? And the theory is because the living creatures in our universe before us invented already the technologies that we're on the verge of now. They discovered computers and artificial intelligence way before we did. And what happened is artificial intelligence eliminated all of the meaty aliens, and now it's a universe of just a quiet hum of machinery. And that's why we don't have any signs of life, because they're about 1 million years ahead of us, and they're all dead.
Or
it's like a giant server room.
Yes.
They dropped us off with some tools, and they're betting to see how long it takes us to get to the planet.
Oh.
Interesting.
That is good. That is good.
And I said that in less than 3 minutes. So,
Or have you thought of this? Maybe they just had an ozone wall that they made the Mexicans pay for.
It's always back to that wall. Coming up, a segment so delicious you just might dive into the TV to eat it, but don't, because that would be stupid. We discuss the Oscars. Not really, we just trash them. Don't miss it. And now some very sad news. The Oscars are Sunday night. It's true. And a poll by The Hollywood Reporter, a magazine, not a guy, finds that 6 out of 10 Americans can't name a single Best Picture nominee, but 7 out of 10 said they'll be watching the Oscars anyway. This got me to thinking. And then I stopped. And I wondered, why do we watch this show when we don't even care about the movies? And does anyone know how this annual crap fest actually got started? So we delve deeper into our latest installment of Where Does It Come From?
The Oscars, where does it come from? Well, back in caveman times, a bunch of broheims in Hollywood realized something was missing in their lives: love. So they made these tiny statuettes that appear to be made of gold, but are actually carved from the insecurities of famously wealthy people who can't find happiness. That's despite having the best trainers, drugs, houses, cars, rhinoplasties, and teacup dogs. Then one bodacious bro said, "Let's give these little gold dudes away on national TV." For insecure adults driven by attention, the Oscars are a therapeutic exercise in adulation. Because how can you enjoy your life if others don't know that you're enjoying it? According to science, one Oscars telecast has been known to reduce incidents of actors weeping in their cars by 50%. This has been Where Does It Come From?
Like John Goodman's shadow, that covered a lot of ground.
Come on, man.
Tyrus, I could have said you, but then you would have beaten me up.
A little bit of a jacked shadow. John Goodman's a saint, man.
Yeah, but, you know, he is kind of a large man. I don't know why we're talking about this. Thoughts on the Oscars?
I literally have none. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not up for one, so I don't care. Well, I will say one thing, and I'm still a little mad about the whole Out of Africa, Color Purple thing. Like, Out of Africa, it was like, what movie's that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
come
mad
on,
about
man.
Happy Gilmore.
Well, why
It's kind of the
you
same.
hitting me? I thought Holly Berry should have got it twice.
Yeah.
The same movie.
You know, you mentioned Happy Gilmore being snubbed. It still bothers you? Still bothers
me.
But that's
every
actually
single
a
day.
good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Most people watch that, and they love that.
Yeah.
But because it's not...
The English Patient one. That
Oh.
year. How often do you quote lines from that? Anybody? Never.
Nobody quotes English Patient.
I don't know what it is, and I never will.
I've heard Rob quote the English.
In 1999, when Shakespeare in Love beat Saving Private Ryan, I'm done with that stuff.
That's so true.
But I will tell you this. I do like the actors in their art because Denzel's up for one. I hope he gets it because he reminds me of myself in a movie called It Was a Man on Fire because he loves Jack Daniels and loves killing people.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. Tough one. It's a great movie.
That is
That's a
cute.
great movie.
Saving Private Ryan, if
Yeah.
I'm not
That was
mistaken,
so good.
had 0 boobs.
Oh, it's really? Yeah, it was.
Hence Shakespeare in Love won that year.
I didn't know that theory.
That's how it works.
Gillian, I bemoan political speeches, but I crave them on the Oscars because it's hilarious and it's fun to make fun of them and it damages their cause. I like the political stuff. Am I weird?
You can tweet it.
But not because of that.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But no, what ends up happening is they get up there. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't
Right.
think I'm wrong about this. They get up there, and all they talk about you know what? They get up there, and all they talk about is how they had such a great time making the movie.
Right, I
Like
know.
we
Yeah.
give an essay.
Oh my goodness. Gillian.
But it's true. They get up there and they get this award and they thank a million people, and then all they ever say is, I had such a blast making this movie.
Yeah.
I'd
Who
love it
cares
they
if you had a
mean
good
things.
time?
Yes.
I'd love it if they said mean things in the speeches, like, you know who almost made me not make this movie? This person's a jerk, this person's
Or like, aren't you so glad that so-and-so got Lyme's disease and I got to step in and take his part? Or like whatever.
That's how, being on a few movie sets, that's really how it is. They
Yeah.
literally stab each other back every chance. I guess because I'm there too, but I'm just saying, and then in public they go, oh, we love it, and then they go on their little rants about politics, but it's very cutthroat.
You think like 20 people. Who likes 20 people?
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know 20 people.
I don't either.
Yes.
Tyrus was in a movie?
Tyrus has been in a few films.
Yeah, hater.
What movie were you in?
Snowflake, The Dynasty.
All right. Final thoughts on deck. If you leave now, you can forget about brunch tomorrow. We're running out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Gillian?
I don't have any books coming out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not giving any speeches. I'm not booked on any shows.
Okay.
But my album's dropping next week. You guys should check it out.
Wow. What's it called?
I forgot.
Yeah, you didn't think that next step,
I know.
did you? It's okay.
I'll be more prepared next time.
It's all right. You're flunked. Rob!
On a serious note, I want to thank CPAC for inviting me for the speech. I was going to give one this week, and my plane caught on fire or something, and we had to stay in Teterboro. And my senior advisor, Rhonda Bentz, wrote me an awesome speech I couldn't deliver, and I just wanted to say thanks to CPAC, thanks to Rhonda, and I wish I could have made it.
That is a bummer.
It seemed like a party at CPAC, too. Apparently, I missed out.
Yeah, you did.
Through there in red, white, and blue and stuff.
All right, Tyrus, thoughts?
Caitlyn Jenner is a disaster.
What? What happened? What did I miss?
she called.
Oh, she called Trump a disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Being the queen, king, whatever of disasters herself. Nice kids you raised. She shouldn't be talking about anybody as far as disaster goes.
All right. Well, there you go. Kat, last word?
I have a book coming out.
Oh, what's it called?
I have to write it, and then it's going to come out. Thank you.
Is there any idea what it's about?
It's gonna dwarf stars.
All right, thanks to Gillian Turner, Rob O'Neill, Katherine, Tyrus, the studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America. Yes.